Chapter 1781 Barata's Crusade Against the Mechanical Legion. Zhang Yi thought for a moment and said, could it be that these mechanical civilizations are looking for some huge energy body? A strange light flashed in his eyes. If something that even powerful and advanced mechanical civilizations desire falls into his hands, then can he have the strength to rival those powerful civilizations? Yang Xinxin said, there is insufficient information source to make an accurate judgment. Fremons has obviously investigated it a long time ago, but now they are obviously on guard against us. Ling sat aside and swung her legs. Zhang Yi and others did not talk behind her back. After all, they needed the guidance of this guide. Seeing the entanglement of several people, she said with a smile, what's there to worry about? The people of Fremons should be the most worried now.
She
shook a finger and said leisurely, you are just external aid. You can move freely. Even if this land is destroyed, you will not suffer much loss. But the Fremons people have no way out. I think they will ask you for help soon. Zhang Yi nodded, and he couldn't help but look at Ling. The little girl's analysis made sense. Ask for help? If we only rely on their intelligence, I bet they will let us go to the most dangerous place. After dealing with Bodaga, Zhang Yi understood this guy's character. He represents the attitude of the Fremons' top leaders, so there is no need to think about what they will do. Ling smiled brightly. It may not be a bad thing. If the big boss of chaos really wants to find the secrets that the mechanical civilization is looking for, then the closer you are to danger, the closer you are to the truth. Zhang Yi thought, but I want to get the secrets of the mechanical civilization and avoid all risks. But he also understands that this is impossible. However, at the moment, he really needs the information in Fremons' hands. Let's go to Samaran Cities. Zhang Yi made such a decision. Let's go and see the situation first, and by the way, contact the aliens from other countries. Southwest of Fremons, in the area belonging to the Southern Federation, the aliens of Barata set foot on this land after obtaining permission from Fremons. Emperor Shirtion led the way, followed by Azura and Garuda, and then their tribesmen. More than 100 people, all wearing combat uniforms with Barata characteristics, came to this land. Compared with the snowmobile driven by Zhang Yi's team, they were riding a huge and luxurious snow train. The body of the train is more than 3 times the size of an ordinary truck, and underneath are tracks covered with ice and snow. The train is speeding across the endless snow, as fast as lightning, and there is no sign of slipping. This is because the driver of the 2 cars was once a professional technical performer of the Barata Motorcycle Corps. Over the years, his most skilled skill is to drive a motorcycle and load more people. So he has a very good grasp of balance. Emperor Shirtion sat in the carriage. The outside world was extremely cold. The cold wind blowing on the face could make the flesh on the cheeks necrotize and fall off. But the car was extremely luxurious. Not to mention the gorgeous decorations, there were also more than a dozen beautiful girls in saris, singing and dancing, presenting the most gorgeous performance for the Emperor of Heaven. The Emperor of Heaven leaned against the bed, with one leg propped up on the bed, enjoying the grapes handed to him by the maid. Below sat the subordinates of the heavenly people. One of his subordinates asked, Emperor, we have entered the territory of Fremons. So where should we go next? I hope the Emperor can guide us. Emperor Shirtion smiled faintly, and his face always had an expression of confidence, as if everything was within his expectations. But he did have the capital to do so. As a great prophet, he could see the future that ordinary people could not foresee. Don't worry, I have seen the right direction. As if thinking of Zhang Yi, he raised a hint of mockery at the corner of his mouth. People who walk with their eyes blindfolded, even if they set out in the dark before the sun rises, will find it difficult to take the right path. I will prove in Fremons who is the greatest alien in the world. A glimmer of light flashed in his eyes. He saw the future that happened in a distant place, that was a mechanical life form that emerged like a tsunami. In the huge wave, a super-large mechanical life form, like a hill, slowly crawled out from under the earth and stood in front of him. Chaos, what you can do, I can do better than you. I want you to understand that on the battlefield, You are not as good as me. A hint of darkness flashed in Emperor Shirtian's eyes. The defeat to Zhang Yi was the only stain on his smooth life. He must redeem his dignity as the Emperor of Heaven on the battlefield of Fremons. Emperor Shirtian's abilities are very comprehensive. Time Overture can play a role in all aspects, especially on the battlefield. It is particularly good at predicting the enemy's actions. After searching for a long time in the Far East, he only encountered a mechanical army. As soon as he arrived in Fremons, he had locked the area where a large mechanical army was about to appear through his abilities. The train galloped across the snowfield at high speed, heading straight for a deserted city in the Southern Federation. In less than half a day, they arrived here. Emperor Shirtian walked out of the train. His upper body and feet were bare. In the extremely low-temperature environment of more than 100 degrees below zero, he could not bear it without strong enough physical strength. Among the three Ypsilons, he and Azura both had strong physiques. Only Gao Changkong was wrapped in a tightly packed combat uniform, airtight. Azura stood beside Emperor Shirtian with a cold face, looking at the deserted city in front of him, and said in a cold tone, "Did you foresee that the legion of mechanical civilization would appear here?" Emperor Shirtian glanced at him lightly. "Did I make a mistake?" Azura did not continue to speak. As an existence who failed to compete with Anand for the title of Emperor Shirtian, he was not much behind Emperor Shirtian in terms of fighting. But he could not doubt the ability of this legendary prophet. Emperor Shirtian took a step forward, slowly closed his eyes, and stretched out his right hand. "I have felt the traces of fate. They are here, and they will soon come." As soon as the voice fell, he suddenly took off into the air. In his right hand, the golden power materialized into a Tianluo umbrella with Sanskrit spells painted all over it. He swung the umbrella with his powerful arm and smashed it hard towards the ground in front of him. A powerful energy burst out, impacting the ground under his feet. The strength of the bishop made the center of the snow-covered city collapse instantly. The ground collapsed like a pile of dust, revealing a huge basin-shaped pit. 7 layers of golden steps appeared under Emperor Shirtian's feet. He stood on the steps, looking down at everything under his feet. And soon after, the fluctuations he expected really appeared. Boom. The earth was shaking wildly, and then it broke apart. Countless mechanical life forms drilled out like a 7-year-old cicada in summer encountering rainy days. The 5 or 6 meter tall ostrich-shaped robot supported a nearly hexahedral torso with 2 metal limbs, and only one eye with red light was exposed on the front. 6 limbs, like a spider-like mechanical life form. 4 limbs, like a large cat-like mechanical life form. Densely packed, countless, gushing out in this desolate town like a gusher. Even though he was mentally prepared, Gao Changkong's eyes became much more solemn when he saw so many mechanical life forms for the first time. He said to Gu Man and Bata behind him, "These guys are not easy to deal with. You follow me closely." There are only 3 of them left in the original Samsara team. With Gao Changkong's current strength and status, he can have more subordinates, but the only ones he can really trust are Gu Man and Batu. Of course, there are other powerful aliens among his Garuda. But there is still a big difference between subordinates and confidants. Bata said to Gao Changkong with a smile, "Boss, even Emperor Shirtian and Azura are here. What are you still worried about?" Gao Changkong said lightly, "Survivor bias?" Zhang Yi defeated a mechanical army too easily, so he gave others the illusion that the mechanical army not only has abundant resources, but is also easy to defeat. But in fact, I know Zhang Yi too well. Once he decides to do something, he will make every possible preparation. So it seems that he won easily, but in fact, he will never do anything that he is not sure of. The sample that can be used as a reference is precisely this guy who is so powerful and so cautious that it is shocking. Therefore, the reference value is not very great. If you think that his case has general reference value, you are very wrong. In a sense, Gao Changkong knows Zhang Yi very well, and the two are very similar. Bata's pupils dilated slightly, and he lowered his voice and asked, "Have you told Emperor Shirtian about this matter?" Gao Chongkong looked at the back of Emperor Shirtian hanging high in the sky from behind. He was shining with golden holy light all over his body, like a god. In fact, maintaining this image requires consuming supernatural energy, and there is no substantial need for it. It just looks better. But Emperor Shirtian, who regards himself as the Emperor of Heaven, likes the feeling of being the focus of everyone's eyes. He won't listen even if I say it. Others may not understand why Emperor Shirtian didn't bother with Zhang Yi at the beginning. But this matter cannot be hidden from Emperor Shirtian. Reincarnation deduction. It is a weakened version of time ability, close to Emperor Shirtian's time prelude. It's just that the instability of reincarnation deduction is extremely high, and it is easily affected by changes in external objects. However, this is enough for Gao Chongkong to determine the ability of the Seven Treasures Gold rank. He knows that Emperor Shirtian did not fail to attack Zhang Yi at the beginning, but failed after the attack. So a proud Emperor Shirtian can't wait to prove that he is stronger than Zhang Yi. We just need to watch the show, Gao Chongkong whispered. He is just a mercenary and is not loyal to anyone. Under the ground, more and more mechanical life forms emerged, and they frantically chased the sudden energy fluctuations. Then, they soon discovered the humans who appeared here. It was difficult not to notice the existence of Emperor Shirtian. He was hanging high in the sky and said to his men behind him, "Did you see? These mechanical life forms are full of good stuff. Let's start killing them. By the way, don't forget to leave a few alive." Upon hearing this, hundreds of aliens behind him raised their weapons and excitedly. They roared. They have been in the vicinity of Barata for many years, and they are the elite among the elite. Now, with Emperor Shirtian leading them, they all feel that they are an invincible alien army. They roared and rushed towards the basin below that was blasted out by Emperor Shirtian. Gao Chongkong and Azura did not rush to take action. Because they did not take these mass-produced machines in front of them seriously at all, they had to let their men test their combat power level first. The most important thing is that they can't steal the limelight from Emperor Shirtian now. Emperor Shirtian stood on the Seven Treasure Golden Steps, closed the Tianluo umbrella in his hand, made a few sword-swinging gestures, and then aimed at the mechanical army below and slashed it down. The storm surged with his movements, and the pure energy suddenly fell like a wave. The violent energy seemed to destroy everything in front of it, and the golden superpowers hit the center of the mechanical army like a sharp sword. At this moment, the mechanical life forms that felt the energy attack all raised their heads and looked at the sky. The area that was probably their eyes flashed red, as if a series of electric current signals were interacting rapidly. The next moment, invisible defense force fields stretched out above them. Thousands of mechanical life forms opened up a huge defense force field barrier. Emperor Shirtian originally thought that he only needed to make a slight move to turn these iron guys into a huge scrap metal dump. But he didn't expect that after this attack, the imagined situation did not happen. The golden energy turned into a sharp sword and hit down. Under the influence of the invisible force, a powerful shock wave broke out. Dozens of mechanical life forms at the core of the impact were scrapped on the spot, and a large number of mechanical life forms around were also blown away. However, most of the mechanical life forms were able to stand up and turn around to attack Emperor Shirtian in the air. This scene made Emperor Shirtian open his eyes in disbelief. Not to mention him, even Azura and Gao Chongkong, who did not make a move in the back, were stunned. What on earth is that? Just a few thousand mass-produced machines can actually block Emperor Shirtian's attack. This is simply unimaginable. You know, Emperor Shirtian is a bishop-level alien who can easily destroy a human city. Behind Gao Chongkong, Guman said, "It is some kind of force field that can resist superpowers. It is somewhat similar to my barrier."